Before I get started, I do consulting on where you can move. I'll work with you to find the perfect place for you to move to. There's more information at the end of the video about that. Now let's get started. What the hell? Is everything in this town closed? There's nothing open here. What is happening? This place is in a bad way. Now, I've been to some messed up Midwest places before, but I don't know if I've ever seen a place as uniquely run down as Keokuk, Iowa. Everybody in Iowa said this place is bad, so I wanted to see it. For once, Iowa and I agree. Summer has a way of making places seem happy, but even the bright sunshine can't make Keokuk feel happy, and that makes me sad. Back in the mid-1800s, Mark Twain wrote that Keokuk would rival the city of Chicago for culture and commerce. He would know. He spent a lot of time here back then and witnessed how important and exciting this river town was. The gettin was certainly good. Pockets were definitely lined. There were once dozens of hotels, banks, and offices which lined the swollen banks of the mighty Mississippi, right here where I'm standing now. Back then, this was called the Gateway City. Moving things by river was very important. A small town like Keokuk could gain national prominence simply because it was strategically relevant. Not much travels along the banks of the muddy and polluted Mississippi River these days, except for rusty grain barges and an occasional kayaker. It's filled with trash, beer cans, pollution, and whatever else you might find down there. As this river's changed, so have the aging river towns along its banks. The Mississippi River is commercially irrelevant these days, and so is the city of Keokuk. Railroads were the first blow to Keokuk's economy. Then came technology advances and means of production shifted. Jobs have been lost to third world countries. Today, Keokuk's in a free fall, an economic has-been. All over town, there are closed down businesses and houses in disrepair. They can't hide it, and you can't help but see it. I didn't stop here to pick on them. I wanted to show you what a place looks like after a pretty big economic decline. So where is Keokuk anyways? It's way out in the middle of nowhere at the end of the road along the Illinois border. It's actually the southernmost place you can go in Iowa. It's not just Keokuk that sucks. Just about every other Iowa, Mississippi River town's the same. They're all some level of bleak and depressed. Davenport, Clinton, Dubuque, and in other states too. East St. Louis, Memphis, Cairo, Illinois, Natchez, Mississippi. Up and down the entire spine of the country, there are once vitally important, booming cities that are all becoming aging relics. At one point, Keokuk had 16,000 people, but it's in a major freefall these days. Driving around this place, you see the impact of economic collapse. I'm sure this place means a lot to some people, and I'm sure there's optimism that they can make it whole again. But by the way it is now, I don't see how. Some of the schools look like they haven't rang a bell in forever now, kind of tucked back in neighborhoods where the houses are all in bad shape. The city's mall is mostly closed down. There's still banners hanging up from the elections that happened here a year and a half ago. The bowling alley in town hasn't been open for who knows how long. These large empty buildings with parking lots full of weeds are just depressing, and it all looks very post-dystopian. Of course, the video rental place isn't open anymore, but that's the thing everywhere in America. There's hardly anywhere decent to get a bite to eat here. And I don't mean a nice restaurant, I mean any restaurant. The popular Mexican place couldn't make it, and many of this city's bars are shuttered. That says a lot, because Iowans love their Mexican food and their damn bars. You gotta have somewhere to gather and try to heal through camaraderie. There just aren't a lot of gathering places here anymore. Casey's is open at least. You lose your Casey's and it's game over, mister. Lights out. But downtown probably has the worst of it. Up and down Main Street are so many shuttered storefronts. It's block after block of vacant offices, empty buildings, broken windows, boarded up windows, peeling paint, exposed brick. Some of these buildings don't even look inhabitable anymore. Like, who's going to invest in all this in a shrinking, dying town? I guess there's an opportunity for somebody to come in here and get a lot of cheap real estate. But to whom are you going to market to? A lot of the small businesses that give it a go downtown don't make it more than a few months. It's all very sad, but not really shocking anymore. Keokuk's just a very tiny example of how the American economy's changed. This place has gone from a leader in metal and car and corn production to a has-been. There's great people here, but there's a lot of frustration here too. There's a lot of factory workers out of work because of the overseas manufacturing and changes in technology and illegal immigrants who will work for any wage. It's farmers who have lost their land to the banks, and it's a lot of people who feel like, you know what? Why look for work? What's the point? I don't want that low-paying job that nobody else wants. And a decent-paying job's 45 minutes away. I saw hiring signs all over town. The Burger King is even offering to pay people the next day, and they still can't fill their openings. A lot of people in places like this cling to issues like religion, guns, immigration, nationalism, college football, because that's all they have to cling to. A lot of people here feel forgotten about. Former presidents have promised regrowth and stimulation of their economies, but the help has been few and far between. So you can't blame people for leaving. It's just part of the American eco cycle of life. Survival of the fittest. A lot of these people are going to wind up in bigger cities that have more jobs and more entertainment.
There's some good news here. They reopened the steel plant in town.
That is good news, Mappy. There's generations of families that need these jobs desperately. But do you think that's enough to help turn this place around?
Every little bit counts.
I guess you're right, but they're going to need a lot more than a little around here. I'll tell you that. Of course, it's affordable here, something you can't say about a lot of this country anymore. A $400 a month mortgage is somewhat eye-opening, I suppose. You could move here and expect to pay about $80,000 for a decent home. That might be the lowest priced housing market I've seen in a long time. This place sold for $9,000 not too long ago. On one end of town, it looks like Appalachialand. I actually caught somebody on camera who looked to be stealing things from a rundown, burned out home. A lot of the neighborhoods look like this. Homes with rotting walls, boards on windows, and roads with craters and cracks. If you look online at the forums, you'll see that a lot of people call Keokuk the worst place to live in Iowa. Crime-wise, it's not pretty. It's one of the state's most dangerous cities. Folks here have a 1 in 100 chance of being attacked, raped, injured, or killed every year. 1 in 5 residents went to college, and 1 in 4 collects welfare. Drug use is super high here, and there isn't a drug or alcohol treatment center in town. It's not totally destroyed here, though. There's some pride in the community on some ends of town. Keokuk has a really nice neighborhood where the city's rich folks used to live. Here's what that looks like. Some of these homes might cost $250,000. This neighborhood also has one of the best views of the Mississippi I've ever seen. Across the water is Illinois. Who would think Illinois would ever look so desirable? But from here, it just might. Keokuk once was a great hub of commercial activity. They had a medical college, a professional baseball team, and many great businessmen. It's home to Civil War generals and American legends. Look, Iowa is one of the most wholesome states in the country. It's filled with cities that are clean and quiet with hardworking, good, honest people. But some Iowa cities make it and some don't. Times change, and in many cases, quite drastically. For the most part, Iowans have a very funny way of describing bad. Their idea of bad seems out of touch from what the rest of us might think bad is. But not here. This is bad. What's the future hold for Keokuk, Iowa? I don't know. I tried to get somebody from the city to talk to me and didn't hear back. I couldn't get anybody in Keokuk to offer up any positive insight. I wonder why that is. Are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. You can get my email in the description to find out how I can help you find your perfect relocation. And I can also help you find your new house too. Email me and I'll work with you on not just helping you figure out where to move, but I can help you find your perfect home too. That's right. I know awesome, reliable agents all over the country, and I'd love to connect you to somebody who can help you search for that perfect home. Hey everyone. So it's pretty clear by now that elected leaders aren't going to help you. If you don't like what you saw in this video, demanding change won't work. You're going to have to do it on your own. If you want to be safe and want your community to be a place where people want to live, you're going to have to clean the place up yourselves. You're going to have to work with your friends and neighbors to lower crime. Politicians clearly don't care as much anymore. It's up to us.
This is Sage, Nick's manager. This has been a Corner House Entertainment production.